People don't want to feel lonely, and they end up wanting to be with someone regardless of who that person is, as long as they feel some attraction to that person or some need that person is fulfilling, and they end up with that person. But you see, the reason they agree, not only because of loneliness, because they have this picture about being with someone, that that person is going to allow them to be themselves. So it's like you're single, but you're with someone. That's a beautiful thing. It's like that person will allow you to be by yourself, the same way you used to be when you're single, but you have the additional emotional security by being with someone who loves you. That's ideal. But what happens is, what if that person doesn't allow you to be that way? That's when the problems begin. And that's why relationships start to deteriorate. You see, and the other person is saying the same thing about you. They want to be themselves. They want to be childlike. They want to use their imagination. And here you are, you're serious. You talk about practicality all the time. You're not willing to unleash your imagination and participate in playing with them in their imagination to create a vision. You're not willing to do that because you feel like you're more responsible and they're childlike. You feel like you're a parent to them, even though you are their partner. You see that? That's when the problem begins. So you want someone to allow you to be yourself, but you're not allowing them to be themselves, childlike. You see, you can't do that. The key is when you see your partner, for example, is childlike personality, and you look at them like, what is this person is like, I love, so immature, so childlike, they're not responsible, and here I am, I'm taking all the responsibility, I'm doing all the work. But that's what you love them for. And initially you love them for that kind of personality because it brought you into the imagination world. You love that giggle about them. You love that carefree attitude about them, because life is burdened with heaviness, with seriousness, and they are not like that. And you admire that about them, and now you're criticizing them. You see that? So you need, if you admire them so much, you need to adopt that side of them that is a little childlike, not being just always serious, childlike. Adopt that thing about them, and then you, both of you, begin to play with each other so you can relate to each other, and they will return, will be receptive. You have to initiate that first, and then they become receptive to learn things from you about practicality, about life. So both of you adopt a little bit of each other. You don't have to be childlike, both of you, completely. If you can, you can. If you can, add that additional factor of dealing with the bills and rent and all that, that's fine. Be kids. You see, never age like that. You feel like you're always kids on the inside. It's a beautiful thing. And if you can't be a kid, that's fine. But then allow them to be themselves, and don't put them down. Don't criticize them. Don't tell them you're immature, you're irresponsible. Don't criticize them too much. Enjoy your company. Look at them as a kid. You see, don't stop looking at them as an adult acting like a kid. That's when you begin to criticize them so much. Look at them as an adult who is like a kid. You see that? That's a big difference. And then you view them in your mind that they are a kid. And then you will start loving to play with them, even though they're your partner, like they're adults. And then you bring the memories of you when you were a kid. You start living your childhood. A childhood, maybe you may not have lived a good childhood. You may start living a good childhood when you're an adult as well. You see that? That's the key to a successful relationship, is to allow each other to be themselves. And if you can't be like the other person, adopt a little bit of that, and don't put them down for being who they are, because that's what you love them for. You're not dumb. When you took them on, when you took this relationship, you knew from the beginning what you wanted. You didn't make a mistake. Now you have second thoughts. That's the problem. Don't have second thoughts. Believe in your instinct. Of course, unless they're abusive and all that, that's a different story. I'm talking about if they're not abusive, they have this childlike mentality or that, accept it. Or if you are childlike and they are serious, understand that part about them being serious all the time. You need to light them up. You see, you need to let them, you've got to maneuver them to play. You've got to convince them, persuade them. You see, slowly bring them into it, because you don't know. Maybe they had harsh experiences in their life that they couldn't be serious about anything about, about life. They've been hurt so many times, they couldn't get over that hurt, and that's why they became serious and suspicious and skeptical. So you bring them into it because you would consider yourself the stronger one emotionally. Whoever the stronger one emotionally, bring the other one into it. Instead of saying, I'm going to divorce you, and then you go to the next relationship and the same thing, and then the same thing, they say the same thing about you, and you say the same thing, and you will end up all your life living lost and skeptical about human beings. You see that?